Alright guys, so what started out as a how to apply HTV vinyl turned into a HTV versus DTG printing and what kind of suits your needs. So check it out, stay tuned, and we'll go through both processes. Alright, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. A few people have asked for this, so I'm going to do a quick HTV heat press vinyl tutorial. HTV is a really simple way to get graphics onto some apparel, some garments. Whether you want to start your own clothing line, whether you want to kind of be a supplier and make some shirts for customers to make some money, or just some personal merch for yourself. It's really easy to do, really easy to get started, and the initial investment is not that much. I'd say about $300 or $400 can probably get you up and running. The three major pieces of equipment you need are a computer with some design software, heat press. I have a 16 by 20, a cutter. I have a 58-inch vinyl cutter, but you could probably start out with like a hobby cutter. All right, well, we'll get right into it. So we are in Vinyl Master, which is our vinyl cutting software. I've already got a design here, brought in from Photoshop. It's already vectorized. If it's not, you just simply create vectors, whether in Illustrator or within the program. I can teach that if you guys want. Just go down below in the comments section. Let me know you want to see how to vectorize an item. We can do that. So this is our design, and when you're doing HTV, the most important thing is to mirror the image. You can't cut it the way HTV works. You don't cut the design as you would read it. You cut it mirrored or reversed. So as you can see here, I've got the image mirrored so that when it's cut, it's backwards. When you apply it onto the shirt, you can read it. So from here, we're going to go ahead and send it to the cutter. I'm going to go ahead and go over some specs that I use. So if you can see, speed I use for cutting HTV is 156 millimeters a second and 111 grams of force. So for cutting typical vinyl, maybe it's a little lighter than that, but HTV vinyl for some reason requires a little more pressure because of the adhesive it uses. So always keep that in mind. Alright, so while I'm waiting for the vinyl cutter to finish cutting up those 16 different designs for the shirts, I wanted to do a quick and dirty design for DTG, which is my direct-to-garment machine. Alright, so this is my Viper 2 direct-to-garment machine. So what this is essentially is just a large format inkjet printer, but instead of ink to print on standard paper, it's water-based ink that runs through a print head, an Epson print head that prints on shirts directly. It's really cool. I'm going to show you guys how that kind of works a little bit. So we've got this shirt here that's already been pre-treated. Like I said, I'll go into another a video showing DTG printing, but for right now, we'll kind of do a quick down and dirty demo. Alright, so the key to DTG printing, direct-to-garment printing, or really any apparel printing in general, you really need the material to be laid super flat. So what I'm doing here is just laying all the fibers flat so that when the ink gets shot onto the fabric, nothing is like hazy or fuzzy, and there's no random fibers sticking up. So just a few seconds with the press, kind of levels everything out. And from here, like I said, said, this is kind of just like an introduction to DTG printing, but what you essentially want to do on the platen is tuck all the loose material into this kind of like rubber recess here to kind of keep the shirt taut. So when the ink gets shot down, there's no loose fibers or fabrics. Yeah, if you guys want a more in-depth tutorial on how to do this, comment below and I'll kind of go in depth on how this is done. Alright, so we've got the shirt loaded. And I'm actually doing a clean right now on the print head, so that's going to take another minute to do a cleaning. Alright, so as that job spools up, it's going to get ready to print. So there's our flag design. Now she gets started. So there's the first layer. It's going to send it through for a second layer of white. Alright, while that's printing, we go ahead and turn on our heat press. This press here I primarily use just to dry the DTG shirts. This is more of a hover press rather than a clamshell. This is more of a swing press. This just applies even heat over top of DTG prints. You don't want to press for DTG drying, you just want something that kind of gives it even heat. So we'll let that get warmed up. As you can see, I usually do about 330 degrees for 30 seconds and then a 90-second press. Just like that, you have a fully printed design. This can be any color you want. It can be multicolor. This was just a white print. So DTG is effective when you want one or two quick shirts pumped out. It doesn't really have to be super limited as far as color or capability. Where HTV has its strong suits well. So HTV is cost efficient. If you want one or two or three color designs, something really simple. But when you get really complex, DTG has its place. So, the benefits of HTV vinyl. So, like I said, if it's a minimal design with a solid color, maybe two, maybe three colors tops, HTV margins are really good. You know, the vinyl doesn't cost much. Once you do get the weeding done, the application is really straightforward. DTG, the ink and the machine, the initial cost of investment on the machine is a lot. They range from, I'd say, entry-level models, $5,000, all the way up to $60,000 machines. But the ability is limitless. So, all right. So you have your HTV heat transfer vinyl cut, weeded, and ready to apply. First thing you want to do is lint roll the shirt. Make sure there's no debris or fuzzies on it. I've already pre-laid this shirt. You kind of want to measure out, make sure it's centered on the platen, make sure it is where you want it to be. I like the collar to hang off a little bit off the edge of the platen. So you want to do an initial press for about 10 seconds. Get all the moisture out of the garment. The less moisture, the better the vinyl will adhere.
So it's almost reaching about 300 degrees.
Fahrenheit. You want it to be about 305. So 305 degrees for 20 seconds is optimal. So this is going to be a chest, a front chest. So we want to do about 3 inches down. If you want to get the ruler out and make sure you're close, then I like to make sure we're centered on the shirt. About 3.5 inches off the edge of the platen. That's good. Okay. Then you want to get your Teflon sheet or parchment paper. Doesn't really matter. Just something to kind of separate the vinyl from the top of the heat press. Now it depends, you want to mess with your pressure, light pressure, medium pressure, high pressure. I usually go for about medium pressure on HTV. It's a pretty firm press. Alright. After that, you can do a warm peel. Now this is adhered, but what I'd like to do, what is it? Not sure what that was. What I like to do is do a secondary press. So there's your two processes in the red. We have the direct-to-garment printing process, and then we have the HTV heat press process. So it depends on your application. So a single color application, I would say HTV is probably more efficient and cost effective. If you have a really intricate design with a lot of, distress or designs or something that's, more applicable for a printer, I would go DTG. So hope you guys like that quick tutorial. If you want me to dive into any other questions that you're looking to get answered, let me know, comment below. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.